Jane Austen is one of those authors that lives in many hearts. Even if you have never read one of her books, you've most likely heard her name or even seen a movie inspired by one of her novels. There is just something about a Jane Austen character that lives on through the ages. Be it Elizabeth Bennet and her refusal to marry for anything but love, or Emma and her matchmaking tricks. No matter what, there is always one of her characters that will touch you and leave a sense of fondness. Given the love that Jane Austen continues to receive to this day, the Jane Austen Society will be a favorite for her fans. While the Jane Austen Society will be well received by Jane Austen fans, it might also create some new fans. Even though this isn't a retelling of a Jane Austen book, it still brings to light the joy that her works carry. It is definitely a book that draws on the power that being a fan has on ensuring the enduring appreciation of literary works through the ages. The Jane Austen Society is also reminiscent of the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. They both have similar settings and overarching feel to them. Each of these stories have that certain charm that comes with a group of characters joining up to discuss other literary characters and works. This book contains one of those stories that isn't overly filled with action scenes, but is more of a cozy story for you to curl up under a blanket with it. It revolves around a group of characters, and as you are reading it you will feel as if you are also a part of their group. As you can tell, this is a character-focused book. It explores the nuances of the different types of relationships obtained throughout life. Each of these characters come together because of one person, Jane Austen. They each share a love for her books and join together to not only discuss her writing, but to also preserve it and the town in which she called home. While there are a lot of characters in this book, it's fitting as Jane Austen always filled her books with a lot of characters. Even with a large cast of characters, they were still all very well developed and had enjoyable storylines. The interactions between the characters was also very Austen-esque throughout, which made the connection between this story and author feel even more authentic. However, the connections between the characters in this book to Jane Austen's characters was perhaps my favorite part. We all see ourselves in characters, so I found it really clever to be able to do it amongst a group of characters. The Jane Austen Society takes place following the Second World War. Jenna does an excellent job at depicting the chaos that comes with trying to piece together your life after such a devastating event. Even through all of this chaos, the people of Chawton decide to group together to save Jane Austen's family's estate and turn it into a haven honoring the late author. This book contains everything from a Hollywood actress to a grieving doctor to a young and feisty 16-year-old girl. It is a book for both Jane Austen fanatics as well as those who may be new to the author. And above everything, it is just a really enjoyable read. Given the current global climate, this will be a perfect book to set aside some time with and take your mind off of everything going. It will transport you into the midst of a group of individuals joined together through Austen and at the same time reignite your own passion of all things Austen. But we're not here to talk about work, we are here to talk about Nightshade, the 12th Alex Rider novel. I have read Alex on and off since my college days, starting with Eagle Strike, and, earlier this year, I audiobooked, reread Archangel, a bit of a jump the shark in the series, and, after that, I'm going to read Nightshade. I mean, what is the mysterious Nightshade that was referenced at the end of Never Say Die? So, I pre-ordered it and, unlike the other pre-orders I made while in self-isolation which I start then DNF, put on hold, I powered through this at quicker speed. After the events of Never Say Die, the criminal organization Scorpia is truly dead and all 15-year-old Alex Rider wants to do is go back to school, study for his GCSEs and not be a spy anymore for MI6. But MI6 have other ideas. According to Intel, they have recently discovered a new and far more dangerous criminal organization has come on their radar, Nightshade. And they seem to be using children. MI6 want Alex to go to a high-security prison in Gibraltar to befriend a boy who, without hesitation, killed an MI6 agent, several policemen and will happily kill without question. As Alex tries to get involved with this boy's involvement with Nightshade, he finds out an attack will hit London and must, somehow, stop it. But this time, he's on his own. I'm glad I'm making myself go back into the world of Alex Rider because it's a mix of fun, comforting and pure escapism. I admit that this series isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. What if James Bond was a regular teenage who was dragged into this world? But there's something about this series that is fun. It's interesting that the Alex Rider books where Alex is 14, starting with Stormbreaker and ending with Scorpio Rising, though we do have Russian Roulette that focus on fan fave, Yasin Gregorovich, the missions have a slight sci-fi twist to them at the time. Look now to technology such as space travel and cloning, we are very close, whereas the newer Alex Rider novels, starting with Never Say Die, Alex Rider 2.0, if you will, the books are far more grounded, more darker in tone and seems to go a little further. For me, this book has two parts. The first half is slower in pace, this isn't a bad thing, but I like stories where I hit the ground running. But I completely get why I struggled with this half. We are setting up a new criminal organization, one that seems to be far more ruthless and cold-blooded compared to Scorpio, and unlike Scorpio, Alex discovers this differently. Alex first hears about it at the end of Eagle Strike with hints that his father was involved, so Alex had a personal reason to find out more. Here, Alex has no real ties to it, but other main characters do, so it's a slower burn and, because of that and Alex slowly trying to get in, it takes time. But once we got halfway through the book suddenly picks up pace and we are running. I do hope that, because of this, the next book in the series continue with this speed. I am going to keep going with this new Nightshade arc as I am so intrigued over where Anthony is going to go. Though I am a little worried over Alex, as much as I enjoy this series and I think fans all over the world, I don't want this series to outstay its welcome. There are several series that did and fans were glad when these series ended, and I don't want that to happen to Alex. But I'm planning to stay with Alex for a little while longer. I'm thinking of rereading some old Alex Rider missions and maybe one or two I haven't. You're not getting rid of me that easily.